guys, welcome back to a new kind of video, because today I'm doing a voiceover instead about a Rise crossover, and we'll be talking to you guys about where the channel will be heading, because you already might have seen my latest YouTube community post where I've been asking you guys on what you would like to see on the channel besides a Rust crossover, and if you actually would like to see something else besides a Rust crossover, which has been massively responded to. So I thought, why also give a little bit of an update video about a Rise crossover and the way the channel will be heading. So without any further ado, let's get started. So first, let's talk about a Rise crossover and kind of how it's been doing recently, because of course you guys might have seen the developer come by in sometimes in our live streams, talking about like helping people out in the chat that have some questions for him in the development department, or like about the updates, all that kind of stuff. And I actually am growing a bit worried for him, because sometimes he talks about how sometimes the updates are, I guess, stressful for him, or where he would like to at least have some rest from time to time, because I'm pretty sure Pydos is still solo developing the game. And he has talked about how he would like to eventually get to bi-weekly updates so he can at least rest a little bit or have some extra time on his hands. And yeah, that's probably mostly because he's been basically working on this game the entire time, I'm pretty sure, on his own. And how the updates are mostly settled for a Rise crossover is where we get actually like a whole update, but it gets cut in the middle, and we get like mostly a big part of the updates on the Fridays/Saturdays. And then we get like the other part of that update on the Tuesdays/Wednesdays. That's how the 2 updates a week was like continuously going on. Now I've actually have seen that the update didn't come out this week for the midweek update, so maybe we're already in that aspect, but I think we should like give the developer a bit of our time to hopefully give him also a bit of rest, because I don't want to get people like have health issues or something with like burning out or whatsoever, because I think that's actually a major issue, which does happen sometimes in the developer community. I don't know about like the game developer community, but I do know from like the normal development community that it happens from time to time. And talking about the updates, I think it would be good to point out that you guys might have seen like sometimes a bit less content on the channel in video aspect on a Rise crossover. And honestly, that's mostly because some of the updates that we've been getting have been kind of hard to make content on. I'm always trying to make a video structured around a certain update, or I'm trying to make a video in between where I try to tackle the highest floor. But it's been kind of getting to a still scenario where I think for most content creators, of course, not everyone, but for most content creators, it's hard to kind of make like the same guide style content videos or like big gameplay content videos on a Rise crossover, at least from what I've seen. And that also counts for me. Of course, we've like done all the live streams and all that kind of stuff, because it's mostly easier to do that when the update goes live and we have like people in the chat talking about the update, all that kind of stuff. But after that, it's mostly harder to, you know, make a whole video talking about like an entire update for mostly you cannot do it longer than 4 or 5 minutes from what I've seen, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It could also be a thing where I'm not creative enough, right? But I think most people would agree with me that it's kind of hard to make big content on the game, video aspect wise, due to like sometimes the limitations of the certain update itself, or the big, very big grinding aspect that we have to do. If you're not doing this full time, it's very hard to sometimes catch up with like all the big grinding stuff you have to do. It's kind of like hard for me sometimes to catch up with like all the, like for example, all the 100 dead grinds that you probably have to do to eventually get your another N+ rank dead monarch, right? That's like kind of the content I would love to do, but it's like hard to do because you have to like spend a lot of time in the game to actually get to that point. And yeah, that's why you might have seen like a bit less and less videos on the channel about a Rise crossover, which is of course mostly also due to maybe not me having enough experience to make like a lot of different kind of videos on the game, but I think also the updates have been not covering enough ground for me to like make the normal guide content type videos that you guys would love to see, because I know most of you are either coming from like the ultimate beginner video that I've made on a Rise crossover, which has been very well received. We've like almost reached 300k views on that video itself, and then of course also the very big shadow progression guide that we've made on the channel, which is I think almost at 120k views as well, which I still want to give a massive thank you for like watching that video, coming to the channel, watching the live streams, and of course subscribing to the channel, because you guys have made it definitely possible to get me to the end year goal since last April, where we have reached like 10k subs in about 4 months of me explaining this goal to like a bit of 50 viewers on my live stream, which is amazing. And that was definitely not possible, I think, without definitely not possible without a Rise crossover. Now, some of you guys might have also noticed that, of course, the game has been dropping a bit in concurrent players, which is honestly very normal for a Rise crossover and any like simulator game that you've probably been playing on Roblox since forever. Because they start off very strong because there's a lot of content to do, and over time, unless there's like really consistent content or community hype, they kind of tend to slow down or drop off. And like I said, since we also have like Pyro's trying its like hardest to basically solo work on the game, it's sometimes hard to make like a very big amount of content in like a certain amount of time. Now, we've seen this before with like any kind of game. You might have seen this with like Pet Simulator. You might have seen this with like any other anime kind of simulator game. They just like eventually die off, or they will stick around a certain amount of like, I wouldn't say like low, but like definitely from like the lowest point when we were like at the highest. So of course Arise was sitting at like I think almost 300k concurrent users, and then like I think it's mostly hanging around I think 30 to 50k or 60k at this point, which is still perfectly big for a game, but definitely different from what we have of course seen before. Because I'm a content creator, I do sometimes take that in mind, because that means most of the people are not playing the content that I'm making content on anymore. Now, I also would like to say that of course the live streams for Rise crossover won't end. Of course we will still do all the updates that they've been put out, but maybe we won't like necessarily do like 4-hour streams unless there's actually like a really big content update dropping every single Saturday, or when they maybe go to the bi-weekly updates eventually somewhere in the future. We might be able to even like reach higher amounts of hours for the live streams, but I don't think we'll be seeing maybe that quick. But that's something we will have to keep an eye on. So don't worry, we're not like ending the full content on like a Rise crossover. You just will see some other content mixed in between with a Rise crossover. So the entire channel will not be filled with just a Rise crossover. Which, from what I've seen on the poll that I've made on YouTube, has been very well perceived. Which was actually surprising, because I have said this before, but I know most of you are coming from a Rise crossover. And it's amazing to know that you guys are also giving me kind of the opportunity to also try different kind of things. Which I, like I said, would really want to thank you guys for, because I was afraid that I might have to stick to like one certain game, like eventually lose out on the most of my community because it's not like a Rise crossover, for example. So with that is that I will need to find a game that I will need to make also content on, which is something I'm currently exploring. And also taking you guys' advice on. I'm currently always like looking at the charts on Roblox to see like what game is like upcoming, or if there's like a new like released game, which seems like very interesting to make content on, which is like new and has like of course a lot of content in the beginning. Or if there's like a very amazing community behind it. You might have already seen it, that we like have seen that with like Grow a Garden, for example, where they have like been hitting like 1.6 million concurrent like players, even throughout like the school and work week. And then on updates they hit like 11 million, for example, which is like crazy to think about, you know? But yeah, we will be trying to find also a different game to basically mix in on the channel, so it doesn't seem like as dead, where we don't make like any videos and then we only do like the live streams on the weekend for a Rise crossover. So that's definitely something we're going to be exploring. And what I want to add with that is that we're also going to do a variety stream. Now, you've probably seen that I played like 2 times a Rise crossover in the weekends. Which is gonna change. I am going to like do live streams on a Rise crossover on the update day, and then I'm going to do the next day, we're gonna do a variety stream where we'll check out like different kind of games, like small games, big games, you call it. We'll probably play it and we'll see what it's like, maybe for like an hour, maybe like half an hour, and then we'll move on to something else. Unless it's like a very good addicting game for me to keep playing, we'll move on to another game. I think that will be fun to do on Saturday streams, which we've like always been calling the chill streams, which were normally on Sunday. But that's definitely something I'm gonna be doing. With that being said, a Rise crossover won't necessarily end on the channel. We're still going to be doing the live streams, and sometimes you might see a video come by talking about either a guide or a tips and tricks video on the game, but there will be also different videos coming for other games, which is something I definitely did want to do, because I've been kind of also for all the people that are like in the Arise Crossover Guild, don't worry, I will still be hosting the guild. I'll still try to keep myself also to the goals that I'm setting for the guild, minimum requirements and the requirements to stay in the guild, but there just might be a bit less content coming on the channel about the game, with some other game content mixed in between. So, with that being said, there will be a bit less Arise Crossover content. We will still do Arise Crossover streams and all that kind of stuff, and we will also do a bit more new games coming on the channel. And the live streams we will do on Saturdays will also include variety streams, which means we will play different kind of games on those Saturdays, and we'll like do a lot of them on a day. And maybe we'll sometimes check out, I guess, the Grower Garden update, because apparently like a lot of people are playing it. And when I played it on the stream last time, I didn't even have to do anything, because people just gave me all the fruit that I needed to like get billions amount of money. So that means I don't have to like, do anything. I can just like chat a little bit to all the people in the chat and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what we do then on the Saturdays, but just keep that in mind. And that's it. That's the entire voiceover that I kind of wanted to do for the channel and about the Arise Crossover itself. I can't wait what games we will cover next, but I hope to see you guys always there on the different kind of content we will be making on the channel. And also, we will also still stream on the Fridays, Saturdays, and if we're moving on from Arise Crossover somewhere in the future, then we will move that schedule back to like Saturdays and Sundays. But until that point, thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, and I wish you a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are watching this video, and I will see you in a next new Roblox video or live stream. Have a fantastic day ahead of you. Goodbye.